Hey y'all, it is me, Stop, Drop, and Roll On, and I am here just checking in. I just got through doing 2 miles. I am I have to go to work early today. And so I had to get up. My timing is off. Honestly, I think I told y'all this before. I do not use an alarm clock. I haven't in, oh man, decades. And so I kind of know when it's time to go to bed, and I guess my body has its circadian rhythm does what it does. So I know when to get up, but when the fall starts coming in, and I really believe it's fall personally, even though we still have some hot days here. I I can just feel myself switching over. I mean, my body switching over, and so it's like, I'm adjusting. And so at this point, me going in early has thrown an additional little wrench into the situation. Anyway, though, I got up and I did 2 miles of the 3 mile fast walk, and I'll do an additional 2 miles this evening when I get through with work and get home. So anyway, I just wanted to check in. I mean, God is he's something else. He is something else. And I say that in not like, I mean it. When I say stuff like that, I mean like awe, like AWE, because yesterday was kind of like it was like a rough day for me. It's a lot of stuff going on, and it was really a rough day. It was, and I mean, I'm not gonna rehash it because today is a new day, and I got new tender mercies and all that stuff. It's just another day, but I'm just saying. And so what ended up happening was this morning, I got up and I was just like having a really, really hard time getting up out of the bed. I was back and forth in between sleep and you need to get up and sleep and you need to get up and all this stuff. And so when I just said, you know what, you need to stop it. You need to get up. You need to get half of this done if you can't get it all done, and go on about your business and cut out, stop this, quit it. And so anyway, I got on up and I was listening. I had Leslie saying song going, but the volume down. And then I had was looking at one of the ministers that I like to look at. And actually, it's two of them, and they come on back to back, which is good. And the one was talking about, and usually I don't look at him minister, but he writes books. And I usually have read some of his books. He had a book out about intimidation and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, okay, I've never seen him like minister on TV. And so I was looking at one of the shows that Pastor had, but this person was a guest speaker on there. Let me clarify that. And I was just walking and listening to him and, just really being ministered to, because it was about something that, I was talking to somebody about the other day, because she was asking me a question about, forgiveness. And I was like, you know what? That's a thing that keeps coming up, and you just have to do what, no matter what it is that we do, especially as Christians, you have to walk in love. And sometimes it's more difficult than other times. And I was telling her about a situation, that happened to me, from the time, I don't even know what age I was when that started. I just know that I was old enough to remember, and I was a very young kid. And it was a situation where, something was done, and it was done repeatedly, and it was done by, more than one person. And but it not on before anybody's mind go over there. It wasn't on it wasn't on a sexual level. This, I'm talking about physical and emotional stuff. And so, and not by my parents. Okay, so let me just get that all straightened out so we don't have to go there. But I'm just bringing it up because what I was explaining to her was even after all of that, you get to a point where you just let it go. And not meaning you just sweep it under the rug, because I don't think, for me, healing doesn't really work that way. I think that you have to deal with whatever the situation is, and eventually it happens. It's not always like you come in like gangbusters and, coming in there like Superman and standing up and doing stuff. I mean, a lot of times you have to sometimes you have to let time pass to be able to, and for other people, that doesn't work, because what it does is fester, and then it turns into this big old sore when really initially it was just a scratch. For me, I have to let time pass on things because it allows me to bring it down a notch, sometimes several notches, and it allows me to spend time with God to see if there's an area that I need to be corrected about. Okay, and so it's not just about just bum rushing in and blah, 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 like that. That has never worked for me. I've done it. So with this person, the other one passed on, and so there was nothing beyond the fact that I was a kid. It really wasn't nothing that I was going to be able to do to rectify that thing with her. And she died and everything, but the other person was still here, and they've only been dead about 5 years. So that tells you how long, from a kid up to how old I am now, 5 years back, how long I'm walking around with this stuff in me. And I finally, broke down and told my mom I did not want to say anything to her about it initially, because, the usual threat occurs. If you tell your I will kill you and your parent or parents. And I'm just like a kid. I mean, what do a kid do? We taught to obey authority. We taught to do this. We taught to do that. And so after I got to be an adult, I was like, you know what? I'm going to explain something. And I finally told my mother, and she wasn't mad with me, but she was just like, well, why didn't you tell? And I was just like, when a person tell you that they're going to take from you the person that you know is your person, you don't risk that chance. Even a kid know not to risk that. I said, so I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I just had to, keep enduring this type of stuff, And so I know that it molded some of my behaviors. And I have, in time, with trust issues and stuff like that, really had to pray and ask God, to help me not to behave like this and not to do this, and, and to use the Holy Spirit to show me, certain things. And he does. He's real good about that. And so, anyway, I was telling her, I said, but the best thing that happened out of that entire situation was I was able to lay it all down. Just lay it down on the table and explain to that person in my adult age that I remember. It's not something that was swept under the rug. I now recognize why you did what you did, because he apparently had hurt in him, and so did the lady too, knowing her history now. And then where I'm at is, at that point in my adult life, it was like, I just don't want to hurt him behind this issue anymore. I don't want to give it any more thought, to the point where there are these emotions added to it. And so this morning, this man was on here talking about moving past forgiveness. And I was like, if I could move past that, and I did. And, after I talked to him about that, you talking about free, it wasn't nothing he could say to me or do to me or anything like that. I promise y'all, it wasn't. When he wasn't even feeling good and was doing and needing care and stuff like that, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to try to advocate for that person and stuff, because that's not me. That's God allowing me, to be able to move beyond stuff. healing me and helping me. So this morning when I got up and got to moving around, this pastor was on here. The first one was talking about forgiveness and the different levels and depths of forgiveness. And then after he went off, the other gentleman came on and he was talking about quitting. And he made this comment, and this is the second time this has happened when I have just felt like I am just like that. That summed it all up. He came on and he made this comment that he's made several times. Don't quit because you're closer than you were when you started. And the other statement he made was more or less like, why don't you want to finish? Why don't you want to finish and be a finisher? Finish this thing. Keep on coming back, whether it's not right, whether it's less than perfect, whether it don't feel good, whether it's that, because the satisfaction of being able to finish your mark, to get through, to top this thing off and bring your body, in my case, bringing my body under subjection, which is what God has said that we supposed to do. That is going to be the best thing. And I know I'm saying it like it's an end point to it, and I know that it's not. It never stops. But I'm talking about getting to the goal that I have set and then being able to just move around and know that, okay, when this happens, you do this. And when this occurs, then you do that. I'm not there yet. I'm still figuring out the path and how you do stuff. And, when I start feeling like this, well, do this instead of eating. Or when this exercise comes up and that's difficult, don't just stop. Do something, And so these are the lessons that I'm learning. And it's for my good. This is for my good. It's so much more than just coming in here and sweating and, going in and taking a shower and going to work and all of that. That's all fine and good. But this is drawing me closer to my God and making me listen to him, inclining my ear to what he's saying to me. And then working in my heart to be able to do these things that he's telling me to do, the difficult stuff as well as the easy stuff, And easy stuff is always not a problem, and especially if you're going to get something out of it. But the difficult stuff, when you do that and you come out on the other side, having done it, might not have been pretty, might not have been perfect, but you got it done. That's where you get your momentum to keep on going, because you just want to, improve on that. I'm improving on being me. I'm not trying to be nobody else. I'm not trying to compete with nobody else. I'm not trying to tell nobody else how to live, how to do, how to be. All I'm doing is trying to be the best person that I can be, because that's what I'm supposed to do. God didn't give me a handbook and telling me, well, on Monday you be this person, on Tuesday you be this person. We have a lot of facets to ourselves. It's a lot of different, sides to us. And when you bring all that stuff into subjection and you start working on you, that's what's required. Because whatever part you are in the body of Christ, then when you are at your best, then one of the things that one of the pastors says is it improves the body as a whole. That's it. That's the truth. And so, y'all, I'm finna go in here and get myself straightened out. I got 2 miles in. I will be putting in the other 2 this afternoon/evening. Believe that, okay? All right, y'all have a good day. Move your meat. Toodles.